Hey guys, another video for the how-to playlist. This one's about a few different little electrical things in Japan that might be useful to know for you. One is this style of light, which is actually very common in older houses and new ones. Pull the little string once and you get a small amount of light. Pull it a second time, you get a bit more light. Pull it a third time and you get full light. And in reverse, if you have full light and you pull it again, it'll go less, and then pull it again, it'll go less, pull it again, it'll go out. So it sounds sort of strange, but it's partly to be environmentally friendly, and partly just so that you can pick how well lit the room is. So it's a bit hard to tell with the camera, but the smallest amount of light coming from that light fitting is actually enough to see. So if you just want a little bit of light just to be able to see what you're doing, the first one's enough. If you want to read a book, you're obviously going to want to choose a bit more. So very common and very popular in Japan, in the older places and in some of the new ones. Now this second thing here is, this also is common in older places and new places. So here we have a modern apartment, 3-year-old apartment. We've got the air conditioner turned on. We'll go in here and we'll turn on the toaster, turn on the electric toaster, wander over here and we'll turn on the electric jug. Now this isn't going to sort of matter so much to people who are just staying in a hotel in Japan, but if you come here and you do homestay, or if you come here and rent an apartment, or come here and rent a house, or buy a house, or buy an apartment, you'll experience this. So we've got a few things running there in those other rooms, haven't we? Now we'll come in here and we'll turn on the hairdryer, fire up the hairdryer, and let's see what happens. Boom, power's gone out. So it's thrown a circuit breaker overload. So I think in most countries, when they build an apartment or a house, usually they make sure that the power board can supply power to all the appliances in the apartment or in the house. In Japan, this is really common. They'll have air conditioning appliances and all sorts of appliances in the apartment, but you can't use them all at once or it'll throw the circuit breaker. So very common in Japan. If you're staying at someone's house, you're just going to have to be aware of this so you don't blow their power and drive them crazy. If you're renting or something, you just have to pretty well put up with it. If you buy a place in Japan, you can actually pay and they'll come and replace it, put a higher, what's that going to be, higher wattage, guys? Higher ampage? I don't know, I'm not going to get into a big electrical discussion. Higher ampage, I guess. Circuit breaker in. So they can fix it. The point is they can fix it. If you're prepared to spend the money, get the electricians to come, they can improve that situation. But if you're renting, you won't have a choice. Next thing is the power points. Usually just these top 2 pins. That bottom pin there is for the earth, and usually most appliances in Japan aren't earthed. Occasionally they'll just have a green wire coming out of an appliance for an earth, and you can stick it in the earth hole if you want to, but usually 2-pin sockets and no earth is usually the way to go, the way it's done in Japan. 110 volts. So it means that if you're coming from another country, if you came from a country that's 110 volts and similar plug, you'll be okay. If you come from another country, I come from Australia, we have these wild 3-pin plugs, the bottom pin being the earth. So you can use an adapter like this. You can get them from travel companies or electrical places, or places that sell travel stuff often have these adapters. So you can get an adapter to, if you're bringing your appliances from your country, you can often get an adapter in your country that you can, tell them you're going to Japan, you want an adapter for Japan, and that you get an adapter like that so you can plug your appliance in when you come to Japan. Now that adapter just allows you to plug it in. It doesn't deal with the voltage. So if there's a voltage difference, you have to be careful because you might need another device if there's a voltage difference. So if you look on your device, usually it has an input voltage and an output voltage marked on it somewhere. So you have to find what your input voltage range is. So for example, my Toshiba computer has an input voltage from 110 to 240 volts, which means that I can use it in Australia that's 240 volts, and I can use it in Japan that's 110 volts. So the voltage is okay, I just need to use a plug, an adapter, so I can plug it into the PowerPoint. So can you see the point? There's two different points there. One is whether you can plug it in or not, and the second one is whether it can take the voltage or not. So if you have any doubts, ask somebody, because you don't want to make a mistake with this. You could fry some appliance. So anyway, that was electrical stuff in Japan. I hope you found that useful. More videos coming soon.